Welcome everybody, François Letat for my role-playing channel, and here I am with a little ramble once again to my three viewers. I'm quite humble about this. I'm just finding this funny, but nevertheless, there I have a platform to talk in English. Why not use it? So yeah, role-playing game subject, of course. Recently, I had to bring back books I have put in a box mostly a year ago. Just to be sure about this, about a year ago we began to do home improving. Okay, huge modifications to our house, and I had to empty all of my basement into boxes. Okay, and it was quite urgent. So of course my role-playing collection was in my basement, so it went all in boxes, and those boxes were closed and put in somewhere into storage. And when I did that, you know I didn't felt sorry about this. Maybe a couple of years before I would have been worried, well, how can I have access to my books because I want to use them? But I was already into a wave of, well, I already have a game I'm enjoying and I want to go deep with it. Chroniques oubliées, because I like to speak French words here. But yeah, Chroniques oubliées fantasy. So yeah, so I'm already into something that was getting me busy and making me dream, like role-playing should do. So yeah, I was already into something. So I didn't felt sorry into having all of those books in boxes because, I knew that I wouldn't have needed them, and I was right because it's been a year, and last week we had to bring back the boxes into my basement. The all the construction is going well, but it's not over. But the last storage that those boxes, with among others, were, it was into a trailer that one of my friends let us just last fall, and he said to us, I don't need it for the winter, so here you are. But 2 weeks ago he came. This is a friend that helps us with the work we have, and he said, well, I want to have my trailer back, I need it. So we had to empty it. So we got all of the boxes, we put them back into the basement, and when I opened the boxes, well, it's quite cold here for where I live in Quebec province. Last week we had minus 30-40 degrees. So when we enter the boxes, the 30-40 degrees Celsius. So I can't count it in Fahrenheit, but it was cold. So yeah, when the boxes came into basement and we opened it, well, guess what? With the heat in the house, all of the books were getting wet. So we had to get them out as soon as we could, try to wipe them a little bit to remove the wet, and then make them dry. So we had to put them all over the floor, and in a way that the books could dry up, and try to save them. By the way, all of my role-playing books are okay. We did well. Some books were lost, but these were not role-playing books. These were all sorts of books, maybe 10-20 books that we have lost, that we couldn't have saved. It was all torn and okay. But all of my role-playing books are okay. But why all of this story? It's because I was looking at all the books scattered all around my basement, and it was everywhere. And I was looking at that, telling myself, well, I have too much books. And I want to be honest about it. I won't have ever the time to read them all, okay? Because I just, I love to read, but I don't have enough time to read, and I want to read something else too. I love to read role-playing books, of course, but I just don't want to read that. Okay, I have novels that I want to read, some comics and graphic novels, and one of my son is writing his own novels, so of course I'm a proud dad who wants to read his son's work. Yeah, because that's the way it is. I'm proud. So, yeah. So that's the way it is. I want to read the stuff that my kid is doing, and that's all. So I was looking at all those books, and I was saying to myself, well, do I really need these? And the answer is, of course, no. The first reason is one of the first thing I said in this video. I'm already into something. I already know what game I'm into right now, and I'm trying to see myself in the future, and I don't see why I would change. Okay, I've made many videos, some of the last, telling about my preference, and it comes down by 2 or 3 games that I'm still, interested in. All for One Régime Diabolique is one of them. Chroniques Oubliées. I'm still into Hero Kids, okay? Yeah, I'm not much into games. And even Advanced Fighting Fantasy is still somewhere, but some of the videos I did, in maybe one of the last video I did, one of the things about Advanced Fighting Fantasy, after all of these years trying to get through the game, is that I need a perfect group of players to do that. So people who are into fighting fantasy. So even that game, I'm not. Why I would keep that? I would probably keep more than 50% of what I am owning. But the rest, I will just get rid of it. And I know that some viewers and some of my friends have huge libraries of role-playing games, and they all scattering through it, and they are proud of this, and they promote the fact that, well, having a role-playing book is having some riches into your library. And I understand that in a way, but on the other hand, all of these riches, I can find it into regular books, okay, regular novels and all that. I will try to find my inspiration elsewhere. So, yeah, I will probably get rid of most of my collection, and not many games might enter in. So far, what I think I will keep, and maybe I'll do a video more precise about it when I will be ready to put back those books into shelves, because they went back into boxes, because my basement is not over yet. But of course, everything around Chroniques Oubliées. I don't own much, by the way. I have the Game Master screens and 2 books. That's all. All for One Régime Diabolique, at least the basic book, I have all of the supplements. I own them all. But I don't think I will be able to pass it to someone else, because I don't know many people who owns Chroniques Oubliées, All for One, sorry. So probably I will stick with them. Well, Advanced Fighting Fantasy, probably I will keep all of it, even though I think I have too much stuff, because I have mostly all of the books for Advanced Fighting Fantasy in English, and its French version, Défi Fantastique, that I own. Well, maybe there's 1 book or 2, and I don't know if I will continue the collection, but that is one of the line that I'm hoarding a lot, so maybe I'll continue. But what I might keep, well, I have stuff for D&D 3.0. I'd probably be able to get rid of it, but at the same time, there's a very nostalgic feeling about that. But maybe if someone is interested, I might give it, because I have been able to part with nostalgic books in the past. I used to have the Rule Cyclopedia, which was very important, and I just gave it to a friend. and I had the first D20 version of Star Wars, uh, and I had very fond memories of playing that, and I was keeping that just for the thrill of it. But nevertheless, I will kick that out. Um, Star Wars D6, one of my probably most important game in my whole life. I have a lot of books. I'll probably only keep the basic book, the source book of the first edition, by the way, and probably the GM screen. That's all. I probably get rid of all of the rest. And I know that there are people who might be, I already know people who are interested in getting some of my Star Wars D6 stuff. I don't need those books because my inspiration will be in the movies, the series that you can have on Disney Plus, okay, and of course Wikipedia, okay. The Star Wars is has such a fan base that internet is my ally here, so I don't need those books. So I'll keep probably that. What else can I keep? Well, probably I have a Discworld GURPS book. That well, Discworld, yeah, I have Discworld GURPS, by the way, and I don't know if I'll keep it. For real, I've bought it for my fiance, who doesn't play role-playing games, but she's a big fan of Pratchett's, and we thought that it would be cool to have that book, but at the same time, I don't think I will ever play that. Okay, if you know about Discworld and Terry Pratchett's writing, must be quite weird to play into his game, his world. What else? Well, I am a big fan of Grumpf, the French author. Some books I'll keep, some other I might not keep them. There are some books I'm very fond of, and I find them very useful. But I've bought some of them, and to tell the truth, the two last book I've bought from him, I'm a little upset. I wasn't good as I thought it would be. Good books, basically these are good games, but the angle that the game is taking, the game is called Cœur Vaillant, by the way, which is Gallant and Bold in English. I think you can find them on Drive-Thru. But what you find on Drive-Thru, I think it's the first edition of the game, which I think is better. The second edition, it's not that it's bad. I think it probably game mechanic wise is better, but the angle of the game, I'm kind of a little bothered by it, and yeah, so I don't think I'll follow him. So yeah, so far the Grumpf has hit the bell a couple of times for me, but probably I'll try to get rid of some of his books. And I know that there will be people who will take them, because I know people who likes more indie kind of role-playing games. I have some indie games that I'm not keeping. Yeah, and I have a lot of magazines, of that French magazines that was around. I have, well, most of the 90s. I already bought all of the magazines. It's called Casus Belli. It was the best role-playing magazine in French that ever was. They even had another version of that magazine that ended recently. They weren't selling as much, but it was great. This was a great magazine, and I have a lot of them, but I don't think I will keep them. I know that people will love to get through those old Casus Belli magazines. Well, finally, I don't think I need to keep all of those games. I need to clean up the place. I need to get free, because I feel free not to have the need to have all of those games. And there was a time I was needing, and it was a need. I need to buy games. I need to I need to explore. But at some point, the exploration is done. At some point, you find the right thing for you, and that's where I am. So having fewer books really frees me, and I'm not expecting to buy anything. There's one book I'll probably buy next. Okay, it's Fantasy Age. Why? Because I'm a player into a game of that, and we have the PDF that we share, but I just don't like to skim through the PDF. I think my eyes doesn't like that, and often when I come up to my table, I have questions about my character, so I have to take the GM's book and skim through it during the game, while I could do that at home. So it will be more of a reference for this game, because yeah, I'm having a good time with my friends. This is clean fun with some buddies, and yeah, I want to invest a little more. So I think it's justified to buy this book in this case, and bringing it to the table and having two books around the table to maybe speed up the things if people wants to check out something. And yeah, it's the only book that I'm planning of buying. Maybe Chroniques Oubliées second edition, if it ever comes into Quebec province, because, well, the French distributor has a hard time getting their stuff into Quebec. Is it a lack of interest into that? It would be, well, this will be, I'm not fighting the word, but I wish that they could send the book. All right. I think I've rambled enough for you, François Letarte, for my role-playing channel. And up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.